All right, Eugene, we're going live. Just get ready.
So there
Okay.
won't be anyone, I won't see anyone but us three or whomever's in the screen,
Okay,
correct?
so we're live, Eugene.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second to close my door. Well, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Thanks for joining us. I'm going to let in Miss Bunny Brooks, who's with us from Lebanon High School, and I believe she's got some students to talk with. And I'll keep an eye on YouTube, and if any students from other schools ask questions, I'll maybe hop in or type them into the chat for you to see. Okay.
Okay.
No message. No message.
So, Eugene, do you have a second screen that you're loading up?
No, I can do whatever you want to do, whenever you're ready.
Okay, I just see another person with your name, Eugene Frazier, and it's connecting to audio or something. So,
Oh, because what I've got is my tablet ready to go for the walk around tour.
great. Well, if Bunny is with us, if you want to unmute yourself and introduce your class to Eugene.
Good morning. My name's Bunny Brooks, and I have two students that are highly interested in this subject. And one's here and one's getting ready to come from PE class, and I'll be here in a few minutes. So we're all going to work together on this.
Fantastic.
We're excited.
Bonnie, do you have any particular things you want me to really stress on from your perspective for these students? What grade are these students?
These are seniors.
Okay.
Carson, and I'm going to introduce you. I'm going to turn you around, okay? Carson is my senior. He graduates in January. So he's looking for a job now.
Okay.
And
Good morning,
then
Carson.
Mario will be here in a few minutes. He is also a senior, but graduating in May.
Now, Carson, can I ask why so aggressively wanting to leave school?
I do not like school one bit.
You don't like school?
No.
So you want to work with your hands and make a good living?
Yes, sir.
You know, there's another piece to it that you still have some schooling.
Yeah.
But I tell you, Carson, what I found once I got into the construction and sheet metal industry, once you find your passion and you choose what you want to do, if it's construction, what you want to do, you'll be amazed how much the schooling, because it makes sense, so it becomes fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Like my class.
There you go. Bonnie, do you know about how long it might be until we have our participant?
Well, I would say he was in weightlifting class, so he's got to take a shower. So go ahead and start, and then I'll fill him in on the way.
Is that what you want to do, Brian?
Yeah, I don't want to hold us up.
Yep, Eugene, if you just want to go ahead and get started, we've got students from other schools who are watching, and this video will be recorded and other classes will use it as well. So if you want to just hop on in, we will go ahead and I'll keep an eye on the questions, and I might interject every once in a while saying we've got a question from another student from a different school. So go ahead and get started.
At any time, by all means. Good morning, everyone. My name is Eugene Frazier. I've been with the Sheet Metal Workers since 1985. Like Carson and I, one of the students, we were just talking that, sometimes school gets really boring. Let's just be honest with one another. It's something you don't really want to do. You feel like you have to. The key in life and the key in anything is finding a career, is find your passion. I mean, you need to get up and want to go to work every day because you got to do it for a very long time. I've been doing it since, like I said, 85. And I love my job. I love doing everything I do about my job. The avenues that I have has been given to me because I chose a construction trade is just totally amazing. And hopefully at the end of the day, I can enlighten you all a little bit on these things that are available to you. Most of our programs are a 4 to 5 year program. And what this means is you come in not knowing anything about any particular craft, and then you're going to turn that those skill sets into a career that you're going to be able to manage the rest of your life. So without knowing anything, of course, you're not going to get the top pay the first day, but you're going to get a very substantial wage. And we'll talk about wages here in a second, but you're going to get a really good wage. And in that wage package, you're also included in your schooling. So you're schooling with the sheet metal workers, and most of these programs are minimal to no cost to the student. No tax dollars, nothing like that is done in our apprenticeship programs. Again, we're talking about apprenticeship programs. So in other words, you're going to go to work 40 hours a week, and you're working with skilled trade professionals, and you're going to go to school 1 to 2 nights a week to get your related training. Now you're going to do that over a span of 4 to 5 years. And in that time period, as you get more education, you're going to get raises, because knowledge is wealth. So the more you know, the more you're going to make. And that's the whole point of this. Now, the difference, now keep in mind that a lot of people is like, well, Eugene, I just want to go to work. Well, you can't just go to work, because you got to be trained. So we're going to train you on the job site 40 hours a week and get paid. And then you're going to come to school, and we'll give you that safety related and all the other technical side of what we do. And the neat part about the schooling is, again, it relates to exactly what you're doing every day. And some things you're not doing, so you can look ahead of what you need to know to be successful in our industry. I'm going to show you a couple short videos, and I know death by PowerPoint, but I've got a PowerPoint. And Brian, are you okay with PowerPoint, or I share a screen and just go through it kind of quickly?
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. And I'm gonna keep seeing if we have any questions. I might interject if you show something on a slide that people have questions for.
Please interject, because you know me, Brian. I'm all about. This is the weirdest thing for me in the world, because now I'm doing things as I'm talking to myself. It's weird, because you might have multiple students on here, but it's a little different for me. But that's all good. We're going to get through it here. So let's. I'm going to share my screen. Make sure everyone can see this. Can you see the PowerPoint now?
Yes, we can see it.
Very good. Okay. Now we're just talking about a sheet metal worker. There's multiple crafts, but I'm just going to break this one down for us. So a sheet metal worker, from the very first day as an apprentice, you're making, this ought to be good. Let me see if I can go back. I'm going to stop sharing here in a second. I got to get control of this video better than what I got, Brian. Just bear with me 1 second. Let's see, there we go. Okay. Once again, we're going to share the screen. Here we go. Okay. Again, I'm Eugene Frazier with the Sheet Metal Workers. Can everyone see? You can see a screen, right, Brian? All right. Just look at this as a start. Your first day on the job site, you're making $15.13 an hour. Along with that, you're getting benefits. Now, something you don't think a lot about when you graduate high school is your insurance, your pensions, so basically what you're doing, every hour you work, there's benefits being paid on your behalf that pays for your insurance, that pays for your schooling, and pays for all these other benefits that we have to offer. Now, that's something that a lot of people don't think about, again, when you're out looking for a job. So you got to look at it, what I call the total package. At the end of the day, what am I going to make? What do I eat? And then what am I going to have when I retire? Because ultimately, we don't want to work to the day we die, but we want to have a job successful enough to where we can either put money back, save on our own, or have a system in place, whether it be saving plans or benefit plans that'll get you to the point of retirement. As a journeyman, so you got an apprentice and you got a journeyman. So you got the craftsman and you got the student. So the craftsman, every hour he's working, $28.82 an hour. With his benefits, a journeyman is making $53.15 an hour. That's what you would make at the end of a 5-year program. That's total package. That includes pensions. That includes your insurance. That includes your schooling being paid for, all by you just going to work 40 hours a week, making $605. 52 weeks out of the year, you're making almost $32,000 a year the first day. And this, again, is right out of high school. A skill, what is a sheet metal worker? It's a skilled person that works with metal, duct work. Everybody thinks sheet metal worker is just a duct work. We build everything from, I built parts that went on a space shuttle myself. So you got specialty, close tolerance work. You got all the other things that a sheet metal worker does is builds things you can actually put in and drive your car through. I mean, just huge, huge things that we do. Again, it's called sheet metal because we start with something flat and we turn it into a product of some kind. And these are just some of the places we work at. These are large scale jobs. Takes 5 years to complete an apprenticeship program with college credits. We'll talk about that in a second. You work typical days, 7 o'clock in the morning until 3:30. And again, you're going to school at night. And then once your schooling's over with, you're going to become a journeyman. Bear with me 1 second. I apologize. And then after the end of that time period, again, you're going to work 40 hours a week typically. And it's the same as your school schedule is now. Now, here's the dual enrollment piece. Here's the piece I was talking about. So your parents and everyone's telling you college, college, college. Well, you are going to college. Most of our programs have associated and articulated agreements with local colleges. I am with Tri-C out of Cleveland. So in other words, you're going to school, you're getting all this training, you're already doing the work. Why not let's get you college credits for it? So you're getting these college credits. And the reason for that is, let me explain to you. People go, Eugene, why do I care about these college credits? Keep in mind, the superintendents, the foremen, all these people are the ones that went over and above what they normally did to become that leader. This is an avenue for you to become that leader at no cost to you to get an associate's degree. Do you need it to be a leader? No, I do not have one myself because I earned it through what I call the College of Hard Knocks. And that's just going to work every day and doing my job and learning how to do my job. But you're going to get 36 college credits with Tri-C automatically. Here's what you got to have. You got to have a social security card, a high school transcript, or GED. Also a valid driver's license. I want to talk about the driver's license in a second. That's a major, major issue for any of these apprenticeship programs because it's also a safety issue to get you on the job site. It's a photo ID. It's a validated document. But there's one other piece you have to understand about driver's license. Trust me, I was young once, long time ago. When I got behind a car, it's a 2,000-pound vehicle that I just thought was the coolest thing in the world to have control over. And it would fly. But trust me, once you get those driver's license, don't get tickets. Don't get speeding tickets because it stays on your license till you're really old in life. Trust me, when I'm saying it stays at least 7 to 8 years from the time you get it, but it'll affect your employment. It can affect because they're going to run your driver's license, not just with construction. I'm talking about life in general. Once you get those things, hang on to them. Don't lose your driver's license. Drug testing is a mandatory. All of our programs are going to drug test you. We don't want you out here working in some kind of uncontrolled substance and getting someone hurt. Again, we're all about the safety. I take applications once a month. Every one of these programs I'm going to show you takes different type of applications, times, and whatever. That's the research you have to do. Again, pick the right craft. What's the downside of being a sheet metal worker? You can work in high places. You can be cold, inside, outside. Everybody knows we're going through something called this pandemic, correct? During this pandemic, keep in mind, if you looked on every construction job site, everybody was still working. Nobody's missed a lick during this because we're considered good central workers because we have to keep things moving, whether it be the highways, the airports, whatever it is, we're always going to be working. So that is kind of what you might consider a downside, but I absolutely think it's an upside because they're not controlling the fact that we have to go to work every day. You're going to work cold and hot in the wintertime. I mean, I've worked in deep freezers in the middle of summer, so you got to be prepared for these things. And you got to be able to drive to the job site. What's the upside? Money's not bad. You're getting 36 to 60 credits free of charge, almost 66%. No cost to you at all for the program. Variety, variety, variety. And a sheet metal worker, again, the architects that work on the outside of the building, beautification, that's architectural sheet metal work. HVAC is sheet metal work. Aerospace is sheet metal work. Industrial is sheet metal work. So again, from time to time, you're gonna see stuff out in the world, and you're gonna wonder who does that. Well, you got to do your research and find out because it's really cool some of the stuff that we do, without a doubt. How we doing, Brian? Any questions yet?
I don't believe we've had any questions yet, but I think once you kind of are able to walk around and show some of the building, that might inspire some questions. And then I'm also going to put Bunny on the spot and see if the student that's with us has any questions as of right now.
All right, I had to unmute. All right. Do we have questions? They're excited just to hear and listen. Their eyes are really wide. So that means they like the idea of the money they can make and the plans that they can have. And it's good for the kids to hear other things than Ohio State, UC, Miami, UD. We got to get our kids seeing that education, it's not about education, it's about training for the right kind of career. I want my kids to all have training.
Eugene, if there's an opportunity, could you speak to some of the other different apprenticeship coordinator programs
Absolutely.
in the Dayton area? Because I know that your expertise is in sheet metal work, but I'd love for them to learn about some of the other options available here locally.
Absolutely. Actually, I was getting ready to show you that my next presentation is part of our what is our Miami Valley Coordinators Apprenticeship Group. And what this is a website that the students can go to, and here is the start. Here is your starting line. Go to this website, go to these programs, and next start asking questions. When you contact someone at these programs, you're actually contacting someone like myself, the training director. So why not go to the horse's mouth himself? Go find out what the answers you're looking for. So I'm going to share my screen again. So bear with me. Can you see the construction site, Brian?
We can see it.
Very good. All right. Now this is our website. So all you have to write down is Dayton Apprenticeships. Don't forget the S. Don't forget that S right there, DaytonApprenticeships.org. So what this is our site that's going to tell you what is an apprentice is about. Apprentices in construction. And when you hover over top of this apprentice in construction and you drop down here, you can see all of the crafts right here that are available to you. But let's just scroll on down on the main page. Again, right there's what is it about an apprentice. Do your research, find out about it, how to become an apprentice, where to go to, okay? So when we go back to our homes page, that's our home site where you see the beginning of it. And then all I'm doing now is scrolling down and you see all of the programs right here listed. There's multiple ways throughout this, but let's just go let's just pick on the ironworkers. And that's going to take you right to the ironworkers information about how to apply, what's a good time, who to contact. Right over here is the gentleman's name, Mike Yager. So you would just reach out to Mike Yager and ask Mike, how do I become an ironworker? Here's a great video I want to show, Brian. Let's see if we can get this to work. It shows now students, this is all about all of the crafts is what you're about to see. So this is kind of like a real snapshot of what we like to show the students. So any one of these is what could be your next career. So let's see if we can get this thing to show. Can you see it, Brian?
I can see it.
Who builds America?
We build it. We build it.
We build it.
We build it.
We build it.
We build it.
We build it.
We build it.
We build it.
We are the organized building and construction trades of the Miami Valley. Electricians, sheet metal workers, iron workers, carpenters and millwrights, bricklayers, plumbers and pipe fitters, operating engineers, cement masons and plasterers, insulators, laborers, roofers, painters. Every year, the construction industry in this country needs another 10,000 skilled workers, and that demand is growing. Our country was built by such skilled men and women, and with their numbers falling, we'll soon fall behind. This is why it's the right time to start a career in the organized building trades. How do you do this? By enrolling in one of our 3 to 5 year apprenticeship programs. You can earn.
I wanted everyone to just take a quick moment on that video. The young lady you just saw in that video, you're going to see her in a few minutes. I'll explain a little bit about her pathway to this industry and what she's doing now with her career from an apprenticeship. So again, I'm going to continue on.
While you learn, working alongside journeyman craftsmen and receiving great pay with annual pay raises. Classroom instruction is accredited at several community colleges. So when you graduate to become a journeyman, you have acquired a great skill that is always in demand. You have earned college credit towards a degree. You will be earning top wages with outstanding benefits. And you will not have any college loans to repay. Becoming a journeyman isn't the end of the road. You can train for new skills and certifications. You can be promoted to foreman, to estimator, to supervisor, and to project manager to increase your earnings. You can even own your own business. Another plus is that as a journeyman, you can move nearly anywhere in this country for gainful employment. Your membership is totally transferable across the states. Your benefits, certifications, and work history all follow you wherever you go. So if you're looking for a career that cannot be shipped overseas, a career that puts you to work from day one, a career with top wages, benefits, and growth potential, a career with the best training for men and women, an apprenticeship program in the organized building trades is for you. Build for your future. Build with the best.
Okay, Brian. Now we've got to come up with some questions after that now. Bonnie, you have any questions now?
And if you don't, I've got one for you because I think other students might have this question. So, Bunny, you got any questions over on your end?
I do not have any questions right now.
Now I have a question
Sure.
for you. If the boys come up with a question later today, who should they email for a question? Because sometimes we have to think about things a little bit and then a question pops in our head. Who should we email?
Absolutely. That on that website, again, the website I was referring to is by far the best. On this website is by far the best place to go because again, you can go right to this and you see contact and if you click on contact, it should take you right to Deb. Contact us. And right there it is. Deb Rose is online with us today as well. But again, the students, let's just say they don't want to talk to Deb or they want to talk directly to the carpenters. Click on the carpenters and call them up and ask them. So any one of our coordinators, and of course, Deb Rhodes is our liaison between all of our coordinators. Any one of our coordinators will answer your call. Just leave a message and they will get back to you.
All right, thank you.
So Eugene, one question I have for you, and the video kind of spelled it out just a little bit, but could you explain how, say one of our local students goes and starts an apprenticeship and, you know, they're getting paid, they're getting their health insurance covered, they're getting all the benefits of being in an apprenticeship, and they wrap up their apprenticeship and they now, you know, are working in this field, and say they move to another state. Can you explain how that kind of translates to maybe a different part of the country? Maybe someone's got family in Southwest Ohio, but they want to move out to the West Coast. Can you kind of describe about once you're done and you complete your apprenticeship, how those skills are recognized elsewhere?
Absolutely. Once you're done with your apprenticeship program, you own the certificate. In other words, you've earned it. You can travel with these credentials. For the sheet metal workers, there's 160 training centers across the country, just like mine. So with that being said, there's 160 other places you can go register as a journeyman to work in that territory as well. I've got two of my friends, Brian, ever since they got topped out as a journeyman, that's all they decided to do was travel. They just wanted to travel the country. Got an unbelievable, they make over 100,000 plus a year ever since I graduated in 1989. These guys, they only work like a few months out of the year now. They pick and choose where they want to go to work at. You know, so say they're kind of like hunters, so like to go to Montana. So guess where they're at come fall time? You know, they work in that area and then they take off and they go hunting. But the point is, you absolutely can travel anywhere in Canada, Puerto Rico, and the United States once you get these credentials, because they're recognized everywhere across the country. So you're not going out. And the other key to this is we are organized. So we are a union craft. So you go out to another area, you go into that local union and you knock on the door and say, hey, I'm in town, I want to go to work. They put you to work. You're not out going to employers and looking for an employer. That's the big difference, because once you come to our door, it's the last door you got to knock on for the job, because it's our job, whether it be the apprenticeship training director or on the other side, the representatives on the union side for the journeyman. It's our job to find you your next job. It's your job to keep your job. So it gives you total control. The only difference is, Brian, once you become an apprentice, you have to stay pretty much in the territory that you signed up with. So in other words, apprentice for Dayton is going to stay in the Dayton area, which includes northern Lima, northern Cincinnati, to Richmond, Indiana, to Springfield. That's my territory for my apprentices. So once they've done that, they can work anywhere in that territory. Once they've done that territory, then the whole country just now opened up to them. All right, because there's there's a training center. There's 7 sheet metal training centers. There's one in Columbus, there's one in Cincinnati, there's one in Toledo, there's one in Cleveland, Akron, so on and so forth, just in Ohio. But that doesn't mean an apprentice from Dayton can go work in another area, because they're not craftsmen yet. But what we can do, what we do, the advantage of this is I have helped transfer apprentices. Say in the middle of their program, they've spent now think about it this way. They spent 3 years in a program, life happens. They have to move. They have to move. If they were in college and life happens, do all those transfer credits go with them? Who knows? But they have to go back out wherever they're going, or have to go where they have to go because life changed. Now they got to re-enroll in college. We do this for our apprentices. If life happens and they have to move, I will reach out to the other coordinator in that territory. That apprentice has to go to that territory and see if they'll accept them. They still have to accept them. But if they're a good student, you got to look at it like you own a company. Every day you go to work, Brian. Every single day. If you put in a good day, what I paid myself for what I did that day. It's no different with the apprenticeship program. If you're a good apprentice and you're making a contractor money, they're going to want to hang on to you. If you're a really good apprentice and you have to move across the country, I'm going to call that coordinator or that other area and say, hey, I've got a good one. He has to move in your territory. I'm going to do everything I can to get him placed in that other apprenticeship program. But again, it has to be decided by them.
So Eugene, is it possible for you to maybe hop up and give us a little bit of a virtual tour of the facility?
If we're ready for it, I've got 9% on my battery. I know this is going to be good. I got 9% on my battery. I have my phone available as well.
If you want to try to get on Zoom with your phone, I'll make sure to let you in. But
we can start this video here. Just bear with me.
Sure. I just think the students would probably like to see the facility. And all right, I see you there. Now I'm going to go ahead and mute your computer. And now you're, if you look down at your phone, where we can see you on your phone. So right now we're getting an up close shot of your chin. All right.
There we go.
Let's see. And if you want to hold your phones sideways, landscape, so we'll get more of a, oh, there we go. Perfect.
All right. This is just leaving my office, Brian. Typical classroom. You got a typical layout, all smart classrooms. This is like a drafting room, like a typical draft room. We still do hand-on to teach you the sketching and what have you. This room here is our conference room. I want you to take a notice of this table. I'm gonna blow this up a little bit. There we go. This is a project that I have my students did. This is like an 18-foot table. You're not gonna buy this anywhere. This is making. You said, all right, Brian?
Yes, it looks wonderful.
All right, awesome. And this is up on this wall is what we call like an architectural project. Included in that, this is actually the skyline of Dayton. And that shows our joint workforce between the SMART and SMACNA, and then the apprenticeships in the middle, because half of our committee is ran by the union, the other half is run by the contractors. Now it's we're getting ready for another class now. We're hanging up more of the COVID stuff. So this is our shop area. Aaron? Are you ready? Okay. I'm even got a little demo going to happen here. This is like where you're going to get all your hands on. If I'm going too fast, I don't want anyone getting sick on me, okay?
Just try to keep that hand steady like you're welding.
All right. I'm walking too. I'm trying to keep that limp down is what I'm trying to do. Aaron, are you ready? I'm actually going to do a little demo.
Eugene, before you hop into the demo, I'm going to
Yep.
ask Bunny if her students have any questions as you walk through the facility. And I'm keeping an eye. I think she said she didn't have any.
Okay.
Oh, are you there?
Aaron, Aaron's one of my instructors, and everyone remembers back in that video you seen Aaron walking through our shop. Aaron, do you want to kind of give a little quick pathway of how you got to where you're at?
Yeah, so I started back here in about 2011. I graduated from Hobart and was having a hard time finding a job, so I came over here and been working here ever since. Came up through the apprenticeship, and now I'm a first-year teacher here.
So Aaron's actually came through the program. Now you think about that as finding her path, went down and worked in the oil fields, came back to Ohio, found it to the apprenticeship program, worked her tail off, and now she's actually one of my instructors. So that's the path you can take. I mean, it literally will take you anywhere if you want to put the effort in. Aaron, go ahead. We're going to do a little welding project just real quick. Students, this is something like, again, you don't know how to do any of this. It's our job to train you. I don't know how it's going to show up. We're going to see.
Looks good so far.
What Aaron's doing now is what's called TIG welding. It's a type of welding. There's various types of different types of welding that we do in the sheet metal industry. We are the welders. So I'm going to teach you how to TIG weld, MIG weld, stick weld, torch weld, fusion weld, and dip the tungsten. Can I come up on it? Does it look all right?
Can you see it okay?
Does that look all right?
Yeah, we can see it. It looks awesome.
Awesome. And then another phase, is your MIG welder ready? Throw your MIG welder. So that's called TIG welding. And a completely different process is MIG welding.
Eugene, you're pulling out all the stops. This looks great.
All right. So again, Aaron, can I show that one?
Yeah, it's still got the flux on it.
So that's what's called a flux core weld.
Wow.
Flux off of it, yeah.
You want to take some flux off of it? Go ahead and chip the flux off.
So Eugene, how long for a student to join an apprenticeship before they get to some of these kind of things that we're seeing right now?
How long? Thanks, Aaron. How long again now, please?
So what Aaron just demonstrated for us is pretty cool. And I'm just curious if I'm a student sitting at home or sitting in a classroom, you know, how long until, you know, we get through some of the safety pieces of the apprenticeship and actually get to get our hands on equipment like that and starting to do work like that?
Well, it depends on what process you're talking about. Brian, I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around now and see if I can do that.
Sure.
Is what I'm talking. How's that?
Awesome.
All right. When it depends on where you're at in the process of the apprenticeship program, you know, the first safety's first. We're going to teach you all the safety aspects of what you need to know and be safe. Next, you're going to start to do your hands-on actually in the shop right away. So your first year apprenticeship program, you're getting a lot of your baseline. We're going to build a good foundation for you and teach you how to be a good sheet metal worker, along with the shop hands-on. But on the job site, think about it. First day, they're going to have you do multiple crafts all the time, multiple stuff all the time. Variety. I mean, that's the sheet metal workers are definitely a lot of variety. But as far as in the classroom, it's first day. I mean, you're getting hands-on. We're hands-on people, but we're going to teach you the technique part of it as well.
Awesome. Bunny, I'm tagging you back in as our resident teacher. Do you have any questions? Does your students have any questions? Do you have any questions for Aaron or Eugene?
Okay, Bunny left to go talk with a teacher. And I don't think I have any questions.
Okay. Well, thank you for updating us. And we don't have any questions in the chat, Eugene, but I would love if you could kind of walk us over around and see some of the workstations that the students, those
Sure.
red hoods behind you, see more of the classroom.
Sure. You want to get the computer lab open, Aaron? This would be like just a welding booth. All right. So you're going to be placed in a welding booth and learn all the different phases. All the tools, that's something I want to talk about. Is like all your tools are always provided for you while you're at the training center. Because we're into COVID, we're allowing the students to bring their tools in. But if they use the tools here, of course, we're wiping everything down. Again, the reason why we got benches is because we do a lot of hand layout still. And what I'm doing is let me give you an example. I'll stop back here a little bit. Let's see if you can see this very good. Close. It looks like ductwork to everybody else. To me, it's artwork. All right. So again, we can change things out. Let me walk around here. See if you get a little different view of this. This is our smoke evacuation. That's a little better. That's a smoke evacuation system. We teach the students understanding the proper installation of fire dampers, which is right over on that red wall. Because if they're not put in right, as far as installed right, and then properly inspected on an annual basis, that's what saves lives in a building, are these devices right here. These devices right here is what saves lives. So we're going to teach you how to install them properly. And then this is like a mock-up, Brian, that we use to demonstrate, properly installed and what have you. In this area is what we call our service lab. And we're actually teaching the fundamentals of the equipment itself on how they operate and how the airflow is. And we got a system up here we do some adjusting and balancing with. You can see that as well. But again, this is where you're going to get your hands on, because not everybody wants to just do the ductwork, but people want to do the technical side. And this is something we've really trying to expand on, is our service divisions. So, and then we're going to just walk up around this side, I guess.
Great. Well, Eugene, I'm going to ask you some questions as you walk around, but I think
Sure.
one of the things that if I'm a student and I logged on, maybe I've been on for 10 minutes, maybe my teacher's shown me we're 36 minutes into this. What's the one takeaway that you'd like a middle schooler or a high schooler to think about now that they're seeing your facility and learning a little bit about an apprenticeship and what that next step after high school can look like?
What is their takeaway? Brian, I think the takeaway is education. I think the takeaway is find out what you are going to be passionate about and what you want to do. Don't settle right up, because like I said, you're doing this for the next 30 plus years. So find your passion. Then once you find it, go for it. I mean, go all in. Average age, I want the students to think about this. Average age of an apprentice is 26 years old. So 26 years old means that they've went to college. They've either went out and tried to find jobs right out of school, or just not certain of what their path is. So they've wasted, think about that. You're looking at what, almost 9 years, almost, basically 7 years from high school, that they could have been out just kicking it in their career and already becoming a journeyman in any one of these crafts. So the takeaway would be, do your education. Find out what you do. Maybe this isn't what you want to do, but if you do find this to be your passion, then connect with a training program and find out more about that program on how to apply. So when they get ready to graduate, the day they graduate, they're prepared. They're ready to go. There's no 26 years old, figure out what I want to do. Start thinking about it today.
Absolutely. That's really helpful. And I think my one other question is, we really wish that we were able to bring students out to the Construction Expo. And I know that will resume once the pandemic is over and the quarantine ends. And can you give a little bit of a teaser for what the Construction Expo entails? So hopefully these students, maybe if they're not seniors, they might be able to participate in the spring or next year. Could you kind of let them know? Because I think this is one step, seeing a virtual open house, but I think it's a very different thing to go and actually get your hands on some equipment and get to talk with some of the folks in the programs.
Well, generally speaking, we're going to have you do some hands-on. We're going to put you in a welding booth. We're going to throw some sparks. We're going to build stuff is what we do. We try to get them to do what little bit or hands-on that we can possibly get. Other than that, and then educate, it's all going to be about just teaching the students, what they need to do and what have you. To, that way they can see all the crafts in one spot and kind of pick and choose what they want to do.
So if you're a teacher or a student at home and you're watching this video after we've recorded it, each year all of the local apprenticeship programs will bring students out to a location where they'll get to see all of the different programs. Right now, today, you got to see the sheet metal workers, but you'll see all of the programs and get to learn about what it means to become an electrician or a plumber or a sheet metal worker. And we're dedicated and working hard to bring that experience back to you guys. So we hope that this was interesting and entertaining. And if anyone is interested, please reach out to the contact page on DaytonApprenticeships.org. It's Construction Appreciation Week. Eugene, you got any last words before we wrap up?
Hey, enjoy your senior year. It's a different year than what any of us have ever had to deal with before. Take pride in what you do every day. And one more thing, Brian, is like I said, I said we're building trade unions, right? I'm not here, and I'll say this, and I say it all the time. Some of my other leaders give me a hard time about saying this, but I'm not here to push union, Brian. All right, I'm here to push education. I'm here to push the desire for someone to find their pathway. All right, like I said, if you just take the time to do the research, you'll know what you need to do with the time you graduate. All right, I can't thank you guys enough. My phone lines, Brian, I'm always available. I'd love to get out in front of students. This is really strange for me.
Well, you did a flawless job for your first time doing a virtual tour. And Eugene, is it safe to say that if any teachers in our region are interested in maybe having you speak to their class to reach out to that contact page, and Deb can probably help facilitate something like that?
Absolutely. Any one of them will. All of us are willing to do it. It's to be honest with you, Brian, it's just time. We're really extremely busy because even the COVID situation, it's just added more time to our day. And that's the only problem.
Sure. Well, that's why we're glad
schedule
you're
the
doing this.
Schedule the appointment. We'll make it happen. I want to show you one more thing. There's a bunch of feedback.
Well, if you're logging off, we're appreciating that you're with us. And Eugene, keep the tour going a couple more minutes. We'll let it keep going.
All right. The only other thing I wanted to show you was this right here. It matched that other table. I don't know if you can see the legs on it. Big round cylinders. So like I said, when I went and came a training director, I built that table when I was an apprentice. So
wow.
It's full circle. I had one of my counterparts ask me about if I wanted that table back, and I ended up getting it back. So it come full circle. But I always like this. With this, it's generations of knowledge. Whether it be your family, whether it be a father, whether it be an uncle, whether it be no one you know, it's generations of knowledge that's getting handed down to you. For centuries, we've been doing this. So that's how the apprenticeship program works. You go to work, you're going to learn. The key is show up every day, take it serious.
Thank you, Eugene. We really appreciate your time. And I know we're going to be speaking with you on Friday. So I will see you on Friday, and you knock this out of the park. You're a natural. You might have to get your own little YouTuber channel, okay?
I don't know about all that, but thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Eugene. Everybody, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. The students that are checking in from Lebanon and Miamisburg and Northridge and all over the region, we really appreciate you all hopping on, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
everyone.
much. Thank you.
All right. See you, everyone.
Thank you.